Would you like to know if you need a degree to become a cloud architect or a security architect or an AI architect? If so, this video is for you. Hi, my name is Mike Gibbs, and I'm an enterprise architect with approximately 25 years experience, and I've worked all the architecture roles you can imagine inside of the last 25 years, and it's been the most fun time of my life. So I'm often asked, do I need a degree to become a cloud architect, or do I need a degree to become a security architect? And the answer is overwhelmingly no. Now, when I started, it was a little different, but now, no. Let me give you some information about degrees in these positions. So what happened is employers now need skills. They need valuable skills, and they need a very specific set of skills. And in many cases, universities weren't delivering some of these skills. So employers have actually dropped the degree requirements because there is such a critical shortage of a cloud architect, of a security architect, of an AI architect, and honestly, any technology professional with deep knowledge. And really, there's a huge shortage of technology professionals that have deep knowledge and the ability to know how to apply technology to solve out business problems. So because of this, most companies drop degree requirements. So Alphabet, think Google, they now, for the most part, drop their degree requirements because they prioritize skills over degrees when they hire. Meta or Facebook typically is known to consider candidates without traditional degrees. Apple has been open to individuals without degrees based on skills for a very long time now. Companies like Bank of America typically no longer have degree requirements. Delta Airlines lost its degree requirements recently, and even Lockheed Martin dropped their degree requirements. Big defense contractors. So we're talking about a lot of organizations that have dropped it. Now, if I give you some trends in tech hiring, you'll see that 81% of employers actually practice skills-based hiring in 2024. That's up 73% since 2023. So organizations have said, I need skills. We need skills, not we need degrees. I still love degrees, and we'll talk about the skills that you would have gotten from a degree that you're still going to need next. But do you need the degree? And the answer is going to be no. And kind of keep this in the back of your mind. So you do have to have a very specific set of skills. So let's talk about what they actually are. Employers are organizations that are looking for people that can help them do better with technology, meaning make their business better. It's not enough to know how to write a few lines of code or something like, or know how to click a few boxes on something. That's not real skills. Real skills are the ability to take a problem, analyze those problems, understand the impact of anything that your hands-on actions actually do to the entire system. These are the skills that employers need. It's not the how-to. AI can do the how-to. It's the why behind the how-to, the impact of one thing and another thing on the systems. So employers need that. Employers are also looking for people that know how to make business better with technology, and here's the reason why. 70 to 80% of organizations, when they invest in technology, they've gotten no return on investment, meaning there was no business value from it. So employers are now focusing on how do we milk the lemon to get as much lemon juice out of it as possible. So the same way they want to get the maximum out of their technology system. So these are the kind of reasons. So companies also need these skills. For the technology professional, they need deep understanding of the technology. What is the technology? How does the technology work? How does the technology either make the business safer, reduce risk, or increase business performance? These are the skills that companies are screaming for, and they'll drop your degrees for degree requirements. And interestingly enough, these are the skills of the cloud architect, the enterprise architect, the security architect. So we have to have these additional skills. If you understand that any type of an architect is a consultant, we're all consultants. We have to be able to sell the vision of the architecture to the management to pay for it. We have to be able to create and lead an architecture team. We have to be able to exercise influence on our clients to get them to adopt something that's going to be good for their business. We have to be able to get in front of the C-suite leader and be something called CXO relevant. We're going to have a lot of business knowledge, and we're going to have great presentation skills because we're going to be presenting constantly to stakeholders, conferences, and without business acumen, we won't know how to optimize business performance. Guess what? I can tell you for the most part that I hold 2 master's degrees, and I had to learn how to sell on my own by attending sales training. I went to leadership training outside of my degrees. I took extensive executive presence training and extensive CXO relevance training outside of my actual 2 master's degrees. And of course, presentation skills, I had to pay and go for presentation skills training. So the only thing I got out of my degrees was the MBA did give me business acumen. My other degrees are in actually healthcare. I used to practice internal medicine before I became an architect. So it's not that the degrees are what you need for the job. It's those skills that you need, however you got them. So let's talk about the 1 and 2 and a few things that we get out of college graduates that you will have to have if you're not a college graduate in a big, powerful role. So here's what we hope to get out of a college graduate. First is someone that knows how to write and write well. Because in business, as a cloud architect, we'll be responding to RFIs, RFPs, RFQs, and this isn't for enterprise architects, security architects, any architect, what have you. We're going to be creating a lot of architectural artifacts or documentation. So we're going to create thought leadership documents. So you're going to have to be a good writer. And that's one of the things some people typically learn to do in college is write. But it doesn't matter. You can learn to write without going to college. I've been teaching people how to write for executives for a long time. The next thing that we really get in the collegiate environment is learning how to find credible sources of information. Now, this is a key skill for the architect. We're not going to go to Reddit for information. We're not going to go to somebody's personal blogs. We're going to go to manufacturers and look at their data, and we're going to go what's considered to be credible sources of information. Peer-reviewed journals, for example, various trade publications. And various analyst type reports. And then we're going to be able to read all that information, assimilate all that information, and be able to make decisions on it. But we need credible information to the start. Most people don't know how to find credible information on their own. So if you don't know, we've got some videos that talk about credible information on our YouTube channel. You're more than willing to watch them. Or just learn credible information. So cited sources, professional references, trade publications, key books are credible sources of information. So keep that in the back of your mind. You'll also need to know how to document sources of information. So as an architect, we're going to be writing a lot of documentation, and you're going to have to pull statistics and information to support your cause. You're going to have to know how to document the sources of the information that you have. And one of the last things we used to get in college graduates, which quite frankly, I don't think we've gotten for a few decades now, is in college, they used to basically give you a piece of information and make you see both sides of the information. And that was very valuable because for every problem we solve, in many cases, we create a new problem. Life is a balance of trade-offs. Architecture is a balance of trade-offs. For example, you spend your money, let's say you buy a coffee with it. If you bought a coffee with your money, then you couldn't put it in your 401k, for example. So you're trading the coffee, for example, versus the 401k. And in the end of the day, what works is after evaluating all trade-offs, did you get to success? And that's the key for all architectures. But you need to be able to see both sides of the equation. And we used to really get that. From college. We haven't gotten that for a while, but make sure you have the ability to see both sides of an equation. You have to be able to compare, for example, an AWS WAF with a Palo Alto WAF versus something else, and be able to see which is going to be better for your clients based after evaluating all trade-offs. You can't just be biased in one direction. You've got to be a trusted advisor, and that means working for your client, not any particular vendor. So these are things that you need to be able to do. The skills that you used to get from college, which you don't have to get from college, just get them since you really don't need a degree for these careers. So get the skills that you need. Go to the right training. Read a certain number of books. Business acumen was really important to me. I read 3 books per week for many, many years. Some of them were in ebooks, and I listened to them back and forth between flying, say, from New York to Dubai after the batteries on my computer would wear out. And I did a lot of long distance travel, so I went through a lot of books. But go out there and get the skills you need. Read credible books. Get the right training. I mean, I had to take executive presence training. It didn't come in my MBA program. I had to take sales training, but you know what? Getting these skills got me to the career goals that I always dreamed about and enabled me to live the life of the enterprise architect that I always dreamed about, which is the most fun job I've ever had. But I love all architecture jobs, and I've had fun working as a solution architect. I've had fun in my time in network architecture and every IT architecture career you can think of. So you don't need a degree to become an architect, but you need a cloud architect, security architect, AI architect, or any architect. Quite frankly, for most jobs at this point, you still don't need a degree because most companies are favoring skill-based employment over degree-based employment. But you got to have the skills. So go out there and get the skills. Find the right training providers. Go learn the things you can on your own. And together you'll have a wonderful, wonderful career. If you'd like to become a cloud architect, enterprise architect, security architect, or AI architect, we have free webinars to assist you in your career. You can come on the webinar, which will be live on Zoom, so we can talk. We'll talk about the career. We'll talk about what we do. We'll talk about what hiring managers are looking for. And then after that, we'll spend 60 to 90 minutes live on Zoom answering any type of questions you may have. And we can do anything we can on these free webinars to assist you in your career. We also have a whole lot of free resources in the description of this video. How to win an architect interview, for example, or skills needed to become a cloud architect, or how to become an enterprise architect, or how to become an AI architect, all free in the description of this video. So please enjoy it. If you enjoyed this video, please give it a like. Please subscribe to our channel and hit the bell to be notified of new videos to assist you in your architecture career, whether it be a cloud architect, enterprise architect, security architect, AI architect, and who knows which other architecture careers in the future.